Looking back, we gotta wonder if the PS4 is a big enough improvement to its predecessor. Of course, you can argue that the new iteration will always be an improvement, but wasted ideas and pointless implementations tend to be common in the tech world. You have to take the time to ask if the new version is just better in every way or better by default. That it's just necessary upgrades to computing power and graphics, or all of that and some things you didn't even know you needed in your life. When it comes to services and technology, it's things you need or want, things you didn't know you needed or wanted, and things you needed in a way that you didn't know you needed or wanted. That's why it's PS3 versus PS4. The internal systems, the UI, controls, services, and most importantly, games. Does the changes implemented to the PS4 stack up to the PS3? Does the PS3 hold up all that well looking back?
Today's video will be reviewing both consoles on equal ground and comparing them to see what gen holds up to be the more memorable and unique of the duo, from things like the games to the remotes.
What do you think, Protag?
The PlayStation 3 was launched on November 11th, 2006 at $600. It could be said that the PS4 is better than its predecessor in every way, however, it stands firmly on the advancements and achievements of those who had come before. The value of a console's internal systems, menus, controller, and gimmicks, barely half of its value to gaming as a whole. There are some nice inclusions to internal systems and specs that are arguably good, but its real value is its library of games. How extensive and varied the games and the overall quality of said games are the true arbiters of its value. The launch included games such as Call of Duty 3, Need for Speed Carbon, Marvel Ultimate Alliance. 7 years into a console generation later, the PlayStation 4 was launched November 22nd, 2013, at the price of $400. The launch had big series such as Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, Knack,
Hack frauds.
and Call of Duty Ghosts. Although not the best games, they helped sell the console. Call of Duty 3 was generally well received compared to COD Ghosts, which is considered one of the worst in the series due to its trashy extinction mode. I believe the PS3 had far better shooters, such as the COD games compared to the PS4, which had a lot of hits and misses over the years. Later, the PS3 would have classics such as The Last of Us and the Uncharted series, both made by Naughty Dog. The PS4 had remastered
Ported, really.
these games shortly after launch, but we won't be including the remasters in the PS4 bucket due to its origins being on the PS3.
Due to the fact that they're glorified ports of games that didn't even have decades of release, really.
The PS4 had many instant classics, sequels, and reboots, such as Persona 5, Horizon Zero Dawn,
Horizon unrelated subtitle.
and God of War.
Sequel reboot. What do we need to know about the PS3? I vaguely remember it, but I know so little of it looking back.
The PS3 had 3 different models, the original, the Slim, and the Super Slim. The original had 2 different versions, 20GB and 60GB, both with a Spider-Man-like font that spelled out PlayStation 3 on the top. And I'm sure you guessed it already, the Slim is a smaller version of the original with 120GB and a logo changed from the Spider-Man-like font back to a PS2-esque font. The Super Slim had 3 versions, 500GB, 250GB, 12GB. The 12GB model being only sold in the PAL regions in Canada.
Sucks for them.
To insert a disc in the Super Slim, you would slide the top of it open to put the disc in the disc tray, opposed to just sliding it in the front. The PS3 ended up selling 80 million as of 2013 since its launch. Production ended in 2017 in Japan, which was the last place to sell it. Regarding the menus, the PS3 seemed to be in between being simple and sort of confusing.
I remember the PS3 menu was a line of icons with a drop-down list of software. Who cares? The PS4 has a better home screen menu. No more of that crap. A lot easier to find games that you were playing or want to play.
Its axis shape seemed nice at first, but after using a PS4 and playing around with its menu, the PS3 menus felt like a hassle. The PS3 menu seemed to have different sections for video applications, games, but you couldn't access everything very fast, unlike the PS4 menus. The PS4 put you back in whatever you were playing so fast that you didn't have to search through all your games to find the one you most recently played to start playing it again, unlike the PS3.
Tell me about the controllers. Which one's better? I know the controllers are basically the same, but there are some differences between them worth discussing.
The PS3 controller feels a bit blocky compared to the PS4 controller. The PS4 controller feels like you can wrap your hands around it with ease, while the PS3 controller seems to feel strangely discomforting. Sometimes can make you cramp. One feature that was added to the PS4 controller was an audio port, while the PS3 was missing such a much needed feature.
I think the PS4 controller is a great evolution of PlayStation controllers. The touchpad is a great and useful addition to the PS4 and its games, the few that actually use it. I'm always hoping to see the motion controls, or gestures as I like to call them, done in an unobtrusive way. Same with the touchpad. Unlike the motion gestures, I don't think it's that much of a hassle in games. I even like the light between the L and R triggers. All that said, I never liked the fake D-pad on it. It never felt right. Though I still prefer it over the Xbox controllers, I can't help but feel that it could have been done better.
Now, what about the PS3 controller? Does it hold well up to its successor?
The PS3 controller is, well, for the lack of a better term, blocky and small. It's not very comfortable for people with big hands, or as I like to call them, adults. Apart from that, it's a solid controller for its era. I remember my fingers slipping off the L and R buttons a lot. A problem the 360 controller didn't have. It's mostly due to the button's shape. Since it curves down when you press the button and hold it for a long period of time, it has the possibility to slip off.
Not only that, the PS3 controller seems to be made from cheap quality. From the handles to the triggers, everything seems to feel poor or slippery compared to the PS4 controller. Sometimes when playing with my PS3 controller too long, I start to get cramps, which the PS4 controller has no such problem due to its larger controller. The PS3 controller doesn't even have an audio port on it, which the PS4 made sure to correct that major mistake. And that's not all, folks. The PS3 does not charge your controller while off, not to mention the ridiculous short cable you're given to charge it. The PS4, however, not only comes with a longer charging cable, it also charges the controller while it's off.
Favorite PlayStation controller? Mine's classic black or blue.
I'm going to have to say golden for me.
Let's talk about the special editions. The PS3 had some lazy stuff. Most of them were color changes, though not much could have been done to it with its ovular design. The PS4, however, went all out, with some standout designs like the Final Fantasy 15 PS4, or even the Uncharted one. Overall, there are some duds and outright ugly designs. I'm looking at you, Days of Play, PS4. But there are some awesome special editions coming out in the future. I can't name them all off the top of my head, but Kingdom Hearts, Spider-Man.
I gotta admit, the PS4 special editions did go farther from any PS3 special edition ever went. Like the PS3 Amazing Spider-Man 2 bundle, they did absolutely nothing to the console, while with the upcoming PS4 Spider-Man Special Edition, they put the Spider-Man logo on the whole console. That alone gives you a good idea how much the detail was put in PS3 Special Editions.
We should end things off by mentioning the Vita Remote Play function.
Both consoles had a streaming function that connected to the PlayStation Vita to stream console games to play on an option called Remote Play. Although not all games from the PS3 worked with Remote Play, the PS4, however, had much stronger support for it. My experience with it wasn't very good due to having to stay near the console at all times. The only thing it's great for is turn-based RPGs like Persona 5 due to the reoccurring frame drops. Turn-based gives the Vita time to catch up during frame drops.
Now, don't quote me on this, but I've never heard anything worth about the PS4 remote play. Almost as if Sony forgot about it. Sony undeniably makes great consoles. When it comes to their library of games, it's imperfect but staunch. Without a doubt, the PS3 had great games, great tools for their developers, and a great graphical output that could only be rivaled by its successor, the PS4. Some of my fondest memories come from, in equal parts, the PS2 and the PS3. I like what the PS3 had to offer and how it went about it, though it goes without saying that the PS4 is far more recent and untapped. It's shaping up to be an adequate successor. The PS4 added many tools for their developers to use in their games. A headphone jack, a useless speaker, the touchpad, a share button, and my personal favorite addition solution to the controller, better buttons. The success of the PS4 stands firmly on the shoulders of the PS3, and maybe its competitors, and will be the next stepping stone for Sony's console in the near future.
The PS3 seemed to have a lot more decent titles than the PS4 currently. That could be due to the fact that the PS4 hasn't been out too long. The PS4 controller, the PS4 special editions, and the PS4 menus won by a landslide. Personally, I feel like the PlayStation 4 won this debate, but I want to hear your opinion on this. To you, the viewer, what was some of your best memories with your PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4? Do you like the features added to the PS4, or do you prefer the simplicity of the PS3? Comment down below.